If you in there, then I'll be the one that you never see like jeez. Let me go put on my cleats, the way that I get up and run through the streets. Perry like Bon Appetit, they saw us and went to go call the police, yeah, down.
Aloha YouTube, what is up? Untied Hawaii here, coming at you with a Q&A video. I think we haven't done a Q&A video in like a year, which is a pretty long time. Back then, what was going on a year ago? I think we had like maybe 10,000 subs. It wasn't too pretty a year ago, but yeah, here we are today. So I figured we'd go over more questions and answers that you guys want to know. I've seen a lot of the same recurrent questions over and over and over. Most of those basic questions that you guys are asking can be found over here. It'll be a link to the video where I first answered majority of your guys' questions for basic things like what is my job, what is my favorite sneaker, things like that. So all of that's probably in the old video. You can go check out old Untied Hawaii over there. It's a lot different than it is now, but anyway, I got these questions from Instagram and Twitter. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram or Twitter, the handle is at Untied Hawaii, so you guys can go do that now. So yeah, it'd be good to follow those accounts so maybe you guys can get your questions answered and put up on the video. So yeah, anyway, let's get right into it. This first question is from Caleb25 Johnson on Instagram. Caleb asks, what was the first sneaker you resold and for how much? This one's funny because I actually had to go back into my records and pulling it up right now. My first sneaker that I ever sold, this was back I think in 2016, but it was a Michigan trainer. Jordan just paired with the University of Michigan and they dropped like this trainer, which was like the first collab shoe, I guess, basically. And I'll throw it up on the screen over here so you guys can see. It wasn't a really nice shoe at all. I don't know why I thought it was going to be doing well for resale, but it actually did. So I ended up buying those for $130 each, and I ended up reselling each one for $210, which was like a $90 profit. So that was freaking me out at the time because I was like, I did not realize like sneaker resale is so crazy because it was a shoe that I really had no interest in at all. Resale dropped super fast on that after though, so that was kind of my first taste into that. So that was cool. Great question, Caleb. Next question is from Angel Man with 2 N's. Angel Man asks, do you think sites like StockX hurt or help reselling? So I think the answer to that question is StockX is actually good for entry-level resellers that want to try to get in that probably don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of time, they don't have like the technology to get into bots and stuff like that. They just want a quick flip here and there. Maybe cop one pair on Nike, one pair on Adidas, things like that. So in that regard, I think StockX is actually helping resellers just because it's a good entry level into it. Because before, if you don't have a sneaker shop consignment, you'd have to go through eBay and it gets very convoluted on there because fakes and stuff like that. So I think it's good because it just allows people to like get in onto the scene that are new. In terms of the overall market for guys that are actual resellers, the ones that are botting everything and, you know, getting hundreds of pairs or whatever, pretending like they're getting 100 pairs, nobody really gets that much. It's a very small number. But yeah, for those guys, yeah, they probably hate StockX because they're like, you're cutting into our business, this, but it doesn't really matter, man. Overall, I think StockX is good for the community just because it opens it up to people that want the shoes. They can get them for cheaper and it's reliable now. I know StockX has a lot of like crazy stories, horror stories basically about fakes and things like that, but that's for a different time, a different question. Next question is from Ryder.Barrett on Instagram as well. Ryder asks, what got you into the reselling business and are you ever gonna do YouTube full time? To answer that, Ryder, I really have no idea what got me into resale, man. I kind of knew about it for a long time. I never really dabbled in it. And honestly, if you guys didn't know, I didn't get into shoes until like 2016. So that was only 2 years ago. When I started this YouTube 2 years ago, that's when I literally started knowing about Jordans, knowing about Yeezys. Prior to that, I had no idea what a Yeezy was, literally. So for those of you guys thinking, okay, this guy doesn't know anything, he doesn't know much about shoes, it's honestly true. I have about 2 years worth of knowledge, and beyond that, there's nothing more than that. So yeah, I started getting into it though because I saw that there was value to be made on these shoes and whatnot. And living in Hawaii, the cost of living is actually really, really high over here. You do have to pay to live in paradise basically. So it really spurred me to like think, how can I get extra income without like having to get a second part-time job, because I don't want to work all the time either. So reselling created an avenue for me basically to like make a couple extra bucks here and there so I can pay for like these little things, and you know, it's just extra income coming in. I don't try to cop 100 pairs of anything at one time or things like that. So it's very casual for me. But yeah, that's the answer to that first half. Second half, am I ever gonna do YouTube full time? It's debatable. One of you guys' biggest questions is, what is my job other than YouTube? I'm actually a counselor for people with disabilities. So that's what I went to undergrad for. That's what I went to get my master's for. So I feel like I don't want to leave that industry anytime soon, just because I worked very hard to get there. So I don't think I'd be doing YouTube full time per se, but I do as much as I can with the time that I have now. So It's been fun so far. All right, so this was a kind of fun question. T Drexler 18 asked, would you rather own every Supreme item ever but can't resell it, or own every designer item but there's no logo? I think I gotta go with the Supreme items because at least you have the Supreme and you can like flex or whatever and do that stuff, and it's good promotion stuff, or if you're trying to do YouTube, you know, background stuff like that. Because the designer items, if it doesn't have a logo, it's nothing really, you know. It's something you can get at Walmart or something you can get at Costco, where it's just very basic. So honestly, that's a lot of what you're paying for, is for the logo, paying for that name brand. So without that, it's literally just clothes. So definitely the Supreme items. Next question is from a Mr. Steven Shu _ on Instagram. Steven asks, what are some pieces of streetwear, designer, and/or heights footwear that you consider worth your / people's money? I don't think there's an exact answer for this. I honestly feel like if it's something of value to you, like intrinsic value to you, like you really see like this thing is nice, it makes you feel good about yourself, then you can't really put a price tag on that. I know for some people, from their perspective, spending $2,000 on a shoe is ridiculous, like it's crazy, like it makes no sense. I'm one of those people, but at the same time, I'm not gonna knock the guy that's spending $2,000 because he has the $2,000 and he wants it for himself to make himself feel good, or he just really likes the item. It doesn't matter if it's $2,000 shoe or $100 shoe. If you like it and it has value to you, then by all power to you, man. Just go get it and make yourself happy, you know? Because there's always going to be things like that. People that are copying $200 shoes for retail, and that's what they think is low end. For guys in like third world countries and stuff, they're copying shoes for like $1. So $200 shoe to them is like what a $2,000 shoe is to the $200 guy. So it's literally all relative, guys. So as long as it makes you happy and you like it and you enjoy it, I think it's worth that money that you pay for it. This is a lot of fun, man. I like these Q&A stuff. You guys asked some really good questions. I wish I could answer all of them, but there's just so much. So trying to pick the best ones that I can. Hope you guys are liking it so far. Okay, so anyway, H Gansberg 81 asked, what's the best story behind one of your shoes? And I was thinking about that one kind of a lot, because there's actually a lot of different stories for a lot of different shoes. Let me go get a couple and I'll tell you guys some. So obviously you guys see the Red October in the back all the time, and if you guys haven't heard the story about how I got these, I didn't pay resale for these. I actually won these in a raffle for $30, I think. $30. I had like a 0.5% chance or something to win them, and it hit. So got a huge come up on these, and it was huge. It was through net magnetism. I talk about them kind of often, but that was a big story for me because I literally woke up and I was like shaking because it was so nuts. So that was a good story. But in terms of something a little bit more personal, I think that these are the Sauconys that Sneakerhead in the Bay actually created, and he gifted them to me. These hold a lot of personal value because honestly, guys, like I'm saying earlier in this video, is I didn't go into YouTube thinking that it was gonna turn into anything. You know, I did it for fun. I turned on the camera. But it's kind of taking off on itself, and people really think that I'm doing it full time or that I'm like an expert at all this stuff because they think the subscriber count is high or the video views are high, so this guy must know his stuff. But that's not really the case. It kind of just compounded on itself. So to see somebody like an OG like Sneakerhead in the Bay, who has like almost 500,000 subs and he's been doing this for years and years and years, send me something because he sees value in my channel and he just kind of, I don't know, sees value in me as a person. I thought that was really cool, man. Like, very blessed to get these from him, so these hold a lot of value for me as well. ZA.Zafrin asks, do you remember your subscribers from the early days? I actually do. As you guys know, like the original homies, like T Got Soul, he has a YouTube channel. SB Mitch, he has a YouTube channel. All of those guys, I mean, I still keep in contact with, and they were like on the channel from very, very early going. But there's also other homies like K32, I Bleed Red and Gold. That guy's been a huge advocate on the channel since like early on. There's just been a lot of guys, like this guy Joby23 is on here all the time, Brandon Horn, Joseph Hutchinson. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Like I look through the comments like every single video almost, and I try to get back to everybody, and that's, I think, one of the founding things that I found about this channel is that I really appreciate the guys that, you know, subscribed and they came through early. And even if you didn't come through early, as long as you keep coming through and you're just saying what's up and you're supporting, buying merch, not even buying merch, just liking the video and, like, you know, sharing it to your friends and stuff. I think that's really cool. And I mean, you guys watch me for 9-minute videos and stuff. I can take 10 seconds to respond to you. So yeah, when I see you guys in the comments over and over and over, I start to recognize people, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's come through. Or people say like, I've been subbed since like 1,000 subs. I know you haven't been here since 1,000 subs. I know everybody from like the early going. I recognize your name. So yeah, I do remember those guys, and I do thank them a lot for that. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys that are subscribed, and even the guys that don't comment and stuff, thank you for being around this entire time. Appreciate you guys. Alright, so this guy Kev Black 88 on Instagram asks, do you make money from selling beater boxes and hype boxes? Also, what do you do with them bricks like Team Jordans? So without sounding condescending, Kev, yeah, I do make money selling beater boxes and hype boxes. I wouldn't be doing it otherwise. They do make a good amount of money, and I mean, before they were making like at least $200 a box. Some boxes obviously make, like when you see those huge numbers, like 800 to 1,000. The most I ever made on one box, I believe, was $1,200. It was a crazy box, trust me. It took a lot of work, but $1,200. But there are also boxes that are duds and stuff. But again, I wouldn't be doing it unless I made money on it. It makes no sense. I'm not rich or well off like you guys think. The reason why I can keep buying more boxes is because I'm selling boxes from before, using that profit to buy more higher end boxes and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's what that is all for. And what do I do with the bricks like Team Jordans and stuff? Honestly, everything sells, man. So just put it up on Gold, put it up on eBay. There's a buyer for every single shoe, no matter what condition it is. Like, somebody's out there and they want that shoe. So just shoot your shot, basically, put it up there, and you never know, somebody might buy it. So this is a good question. This guy Jeff Mackham, or at JDem, asked on Twitter, if there were no beater boxes, what would you invest in? I mean, if there were no beater boxes, I would still invest in shoes, just individual shoes. I mean, you don't need boxes to get into reselling and stuff. Honestly, it's helpful, but at the same time, you really don't need it. So I'd still be doing shoes and stuff like that. Beyond that, I mean, I'd try to get into the stock market, I guess, eventually, but it's very hard, you know? Like, when you see your investment on Apple stock rise by like 0.5% or something, and you make like $4 on it, and you get stoked because that's a really big gain on it or whatever. That's kind of a slow gain, you know? Like, obviously you're gonna make money in the long haul, but it's not like sneakers where there's like instant returns of like 20% profit, 30% profit, like literally the next day. So I think that's what's unique about the sneaker market, and that's why I like it and invest in it right now. So maybe down the line stocks or housing or things like that, but we'll see. I need the income for that first, obviously. This guy's probably joking. Croon0012 says trip to America soon. Oh god, man, like some of you guys are just, come on. If you don't know that Hawaii's in America, I don't know what to say. I'm hoping that's a troll, because if not, buddy, you gotta go back to school. Sorry. Another question. We'll finish with like 3 or more. So this guy Justin.Buglion, I don't know how to say that, sorry. What was the first pair of Jordans you owned? So again, like I said, back in 2016 is when I got my first pair of J's, actually, too. It was a Jordan 4 Green Glow, and I thought it was a really sick shoe. I was like, man, how have I not known about this? This must be like the most dope shoe in the world. And I ended up buying it from Soul Supremacy for their resale price of like $300. So as you guys know, those don't go for that much. You can get them for way cheaper. But I didn't know anything back in the day. And I mean, I still don't really know much now, but I know at least not to buy shoes at like consignment shop prices, basically. So yeah, I spent a lot on that. That was definitely an L. It was my first L, but it was also my first J. So those hold a lot of value to me because I really like those shoes, man. I think I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but this guy _Carlo SB asked, what made you get into YouTube and keep up the fire vids? Thank you, man, first of all. What made me get into YouTube, though? I really have no idea. I was really thinking about this, you know, and like, I literally just turned on my computer camera one day, which is dumb. It had horrible quality video. That first video was terrible. Didn't know how to edit. Literally, it was just a raw cut of whatever I turned on till the end. That was it. No intro, no music, nothing. But yeah, that was it. And I kind of just wanted to document my journey, I guess, of how many shoes I got and beater boxes and stuff and things like that. And I didn't really think it would take off anywhere, but it kind of did, obviously, and it's doing pretty well for itself, considering this is not full-time and I don't put 100% effort into it. So really thankful for that, and it kind of just compounded on itself. But yeah, really, it was just me wanting to document my own stuff, and I put it on YouTube because maybe it could help other people who are like wanting to know what was in each beater box, because, you know, a mystery box, you want to feel safe when you're buying it and make sure that there's some kind of return if you're spending that much money. So tried to put it out there for those people that wanted to see that, and yeah, I guess it turned out into a good thing for YouTube. And the last question is actually from my friend and gamer buddy Shawnee Moles. Shawnee Moles asked, where are we dropping, boys? And then he tagged my homies that I play with Fortnite all the time. If you guys know what that means, where are we dropping, boys? That's a pretty common term, I feel like, for Fortnite. And where we usually drop is, I don't know, man. I'm not a Tilted Towers guy. I used to be, I really liked it, but now I drop in Divot all the time because, I don't know, Divot is where it's at. You're centralized, you have the rocks, so you can travel pretty much wherever you want. Circle is always going to be in your favor. It's just statistically the best spot, man. So yeah, if you guys want to get dubs, Divot. Divot is the dubs. Trust me, there's a good amount of loot over there too. Yeah, that sounded really nerdy or whatever, but I'm actually really good at that game. If you guys want to see that Untied Hawaii stream, let me know. Comments below. But anyway, more seriously, thank you guys for the questions. I'm sorry, like I said, I couldn't get to everybody, but I tried my best to answer as much as I could, and I hope that this is like the start of something we can do more often, you know? Tried to pick questions that weren't super shoe related. A lot of guys were asking what's your favorite sneaker, if you could only have one shoe in the world, what would you have, things like that. And I mean, those are kind of like basic questions, so I'm looking for something a little bit more unique, something with a little bit more like thinking involved, you know? I want to show you guys a little bit of who I am as a person beyond this YouTube persona thing, which is literally still me as a person. I'm exactly the same on camera as I am in real life. It's kind of sad. There's no persona here. Anyway, like I said, thank you guys again for watching. Very humbling that you guys even have questions for me. So we'll do it again soon in the future, but hope you guys learned something, and I hope these answers help satisfy those thoughtful questions you guys had over the years. But until next time though, stay humble, stay blessed, take care guys. I'll see you. Aloha. Shoots!